1969 Camaro SS trim, 427 cubic inch V8. Alright, here we are in a beautiful Lake Havasu City morning. The sun's just peeking up over the buildings here. Handled several cars out of a collection here in Lake Havasu City. A lot of bow ties in it. I would call this one a nicely tied bow tie. Underneath the hood is truly a 427. So let me walk around and tell you about what I've been able to review on the car here over the last day or so. We actually drove it to the facility here, about 5-7 miles. Kind of got a good feel for the car, had it up on the lift, that type of thing. It's finished in a jet black. We don't have a lot of history on the car other than some items we've been able to decode and the overall review. Date code on the tires. We're going to estimate this restoration was completed probably in about 2005 or so, roughly in that range, so about a 15-year-old restoration. Professional quality paint job. You could pick it for little minor flaws here and there and minor settling, but overall the presentation of the black is just awesome. The stance of this car is way too cool. Sits pretty low. Well, actually, you want to hang on to the end of the video because we'll cover a lot on the undercarriage portion of it if you're seriously interested in the car. The jet black finish itself is finished in a base coat clear coat, and you'll see that you can't even feel the stripes here, so which is nice. Nice little stripe addition. It has SS trim on it. We actually believe it to be a true SS car. There's just we'll let the Camaro guys cover that for us, but or if you're seriously interested. But looking at all the dash gauges, console, that type of thing, we don't have any documentation otherwise. We have the data tag on the firewall that will have it Spud's Garage. Whistle straight car, nice body, nice floor pans. Some cool things on the bottom side. Underneath the hood here is a actual 68 Corvette 427 block. We were actually able to decode it through the suffix code on the front of the block. We'll have pictures of that at Spud's Garage for you. 4-barrel V8, Doug Thorley headers, just nicely done underneath the hood here. A lot of time was spent, a lot of MSD ignition, Holley 4-barrel carburetor. It's been converted to a Tremec 5-speed with a hydraulic clutch. Has a factory rear differential in it that we were able to decode for you. Again, hang on to the video here. It is a Posi. Alright, sorry for the little break in the video there. Had the battery go dead on the video camera and did notice it was low. Keep moving along here. Again, the stance is really nice. The tires are 50 series in the rear, 45 series in the front. A little tight on the front wheel wells. Again, we'll cover that on the video, and the rear wheel wells when we get to the undercarriage portion of it. But the stance I like, the look is good. Easy change there if you like. The center console gauges, we'll get over and cover the other side here, but has SS Camaro floor mats on it, or in it. Back seat has seat belts in it. Headliner's all done. Dome light works. Looks like it has a, we looked at all the wiring on it, a reproduction wiring harness in it. All the weather strips and stuff like that were probably done during the restoration. It appears as though all the whiskers and the windows have been done. Dash pad. It's like OEM safety glass in it. Quite a few cars in this collection. Doesn't have time to get to every single one of them. Again, the sun coming up there. Polished American torque thrust. Has a nice sounding dual exhaust on it. We'll fire up the engine here after we do the engine video for you. Again, the stripes are clear coated on the car. It's a base coat clear coat, so black with white rally stripes. The spoiler, we're actually, when we get into the trunk here, we'll cover the where the spoiler mounts. I believe that's a factory mount, so it's probably a factory spoiler, or the deck lid appears that way. I like the license plate. I know it's not personalized, but 4377 adds up to 21. Dual exhaust exits back here, Flowmaster mufflers on it, nice little sound to it. Getting the body straight, I think all the panels are original. We'll get into the trunk and we'll share up in the bottom side of the trunk, up into this well here. There's no seam or anything like that. The upholstery itself is a tweed insert with buttons, button tuck in the center. Factory GM style seat belts. I don't believe that's factory upholstery in it. Factory trim style. These are the high back bucket seats for a 69, and this could very well be leather upholstery here, a leather outers. Billet steering wheel. I know the sun's coming at us a little bit, so I'll try and do that. Appears to be an original 3-pedal car. In other words, a stick shift. I know we're getting some reflections from the light. It's been upgraded with a Tremec 5-speed. Right here, hydraulic clutch. All the gauges down here in the console. Factory tack with a 6 grand red line, or factory style tack, AC tack. Miles on the odometer at time of inspection are 6,031. Did drive it down the highway. Speed will seem to be correct. A little bit of needle bounce, so probably a lube of a cable or a gear, that kind of thing. There are no windshield wipers. There is a spot to put a wiper motor if you like. Fair weather car. 5-speed's nice. It's a beast to drive. You got to put it in neutral to fire it up. We'll get out and let you hear it run. It does have an emergency brake for the 4-wheel disc brakes. Don't know if I mentioned that during the walk around. 4-wheel disc. Power steering. Go out here so you can hear it. Go back and let you hear it idle. Emergency brake light works. Alright, let's get you underneath the hood. It's quite obvious there's some serious horsepower underneath the hood of this one. Anyway, we're going to go through and kind of tell you what we know. I don't know a lot about the internals on the engine. It does appear somebody had spent some serious money on this car during its restoration early on. Cover a few of the exterior details here. The firewall has been smoothed. The aprons are all finished in a gloss black, just like the firewall and the exterior of the car. Front core support here is finished in a gloss black. Chrome core support braces here. All new factory style or newer factory style wiring harness. The data tag here on the firewall, we'll get back to spuds and try and decode that for you. There are no wipers on the car. You can catch that there. Wiper installation. You could put a wiper on it. Fair weather driving. Anyway, underneath the hood here's a 427 cubic inch Chevy V8. We're fortunate enough to have the suffix code here on the block, and we'll have a picture at Spud's Garage. It is an IM suffix code. Tonawanda 0417, April 17th, IM. And there's actually the VIN number of the car that it came out of there also. It's an original stamp. IM would mean it's a 427 cubic inch out of a Corvette. 400 horsepower if it was 68. We checked that before we got done here. Has Doug Thorley headers on it, ceramic coated long tube. Obviously you've heard this car run already, or I've fired it up, or I will fire it up here for you. Aluminum intake manifold. Couldn't tell you what brand that is. It's a dual plane manifold, I believe. Has a Holley dual feed carburetor on it, which means it's probably a 700 CFM for this car. I don't have the spec. It has an MSD Pro Billet distributor, MSD coil, blaster ignition coil. It has an MSD multiple spark discharge box on it, 6AL. The air conditioning compressor here is run with braided lines, also braided fuel lines. It has an electric fuel pump, braided heater hose lines, aluminum water pump. That's a Y-end aluminum water pump. Billet pulleys. It does have power steering on it. This is a large cross-flow Matson radiator with dual electric cooling fans on it. Coolant recovery tank right here. It has 4-wheel disc power disc brakes on it. Factory style master upgraded booster. It has a hydraulic clutch in it with a Tremec 5-speed transmission. The rear differential we've decoded as a BT code with an E for Eaton Posi. BT would have been, for this car, 68 would have been a 355 ratio Posi. And I believe the E, Eaton Posi, confirms that. The hood is finished on the bottom side here. The air filter does go up into the hood. This is an aftermarket Cal induction style hood. Want to again point out the stripes are actually underneath the clear coat here on this one. Okay, we're going to fire it up here for you. Still a little cold. Alright, thought I'd get the trunk while we're in the shop here. Looked at the body, really nice on this. Appears to be a really nice body. All the quarter panels and everything appear to be original. We'll get you up into the bottom side here. I didn't see any seams or anything like that. Over here the same, original quarters. Floor pans themselves. Quarter extensions on the bottom. We'll cover on the undercarriage here shortly. We'll put the mat back down in just a minute. Same thing here. Nice. It appears that it has an upgraded replacement factory harness, style harness in it. Wiring harness in the tail section here. Going a little fast there. Bottom side of the deck lid. Couldn't tell you if that's an original spoiler mount or not, but I believe so. Camaro guys will tell you. Okay, we'll get you the undercarriage in just a second. We wanted to kind of do a walk around the body, cover the tire sizes, that type of thing. The tire sizes up front here are a 245/45 R17. They feel the wheel well, really nice. One thing I did notice when I was driving it is it's pretty tight right here going through a driveway or turning right left. It does have a rub issue here. It has dropped spindles. I don't know if they dropped the coils on it, but you could easily raise this car about a ½ inch or an inch and probably alleviate that. The look of the feel in the wheel well is nice. Rockers are nice. The back tire size has some 50 series on the back here. 255/50 R17s in the back. Of course, American Racing torque thrust, polished torque thrust wheels. This here, again, they went with a super big tire to give it a good look, but they did have to trim the wheel well here to allow it up. I didn't hear any bump rub, but I guess it's possible. It's close. Driver's side. Over here you'll notice it's trimmed here, and they put a little piece of trim here to protect the tire from being cut in case. There's no marks on the tires. A few little miscellaneous marks on the car here or there. You can see when you're up high, you probably wouldn't notice it up top. Rockers solid. This one too. You can see the clearance for the tire. 04 date code on the tire here. So I'm going to say this car's been done about 15 years, roughly. All right, we got it up on the lift here in Spud's garage. Going to cover the undercarriage here for you. Nice little bling on the back here, kind of cool. I don't think I've seen a chrome gas tank in a long time. Somebody obviously spent a lot of time on this car at one point going through it. Adding some performance goodies. Nice dual exhaust here. We did decode the rear axle. It's a BTE, which is a 355 ratio Posi according to the Camaro specs that I've been able to look at. I'll get more when I get to spudsgarage.com. EAT and Posi, at least that's the code. I don't have any idea what's in the carrier. Has upgraded drilled slotted rotors and disc brakes in the rear with an emergency brake. Floor pans are all nice. I've studied it, and wheel wells, that kind of thing, as far as the any kind of corrosion or that type. Nothing appears to be hidden. Solid car. Sub rails are nice. Traction bars are, I forget the brand of these, are a Caltrax traction bars. All new brake lines were run on it. Factory style fuel line here. Floor pans appear to be original and solid. Rockers are nice. You can still see the spot welds on the bottom of the rockers. Factory subframe. Has a new cross member with the Tremec 5-speed conversion. Hydraulic clutch. Gives it a nice feel for the performance here. This is the bottom side of the Doug Thorley long tube headers. We'll actually make a reverse turn here and cover it for you. Up front here is the disc brakes. Looks like it has drop spindles on it, new ball joints, that type of thing. Factory suspension otherwise. Stamped steel cross members. The bottom side of the 427 that we were able to decode with the suffix code. Again, inner rockers on this side. You can see the spot welds there. The inner fenders are finished in a clear coat. I mean a black, gloss black. Slide this back so I can cover the bottom side here up front. Like we mentioned during the just pre-up to this, the tires are nicely done as far as filling the wheel wells, but there are some rub issues. I believe you could raise this car just about ½ inch or an inch. Still have a nice look and feel, and probably eliminate most of that front tire rub that I noticed. Billet pulleys on the front of the engine, aluminum water pump line, aluminum radiator, Matson. Slide this back, mini high torque starter right there. Again, the Tremec 5-speed conversion. Crossover on the exhaust here. Has an electric fuel pump installed on it. Anyway, we think you get the idea. Thanks for listening to me. We cover these inner rear quarter extensions. Are nice. Solid car. There you go.